Hi, welcome to Codeforces. This is episode 2 of C-Lab series. In this series, we'll be playing the game of odd or even. So, we'll be given a number and we have to find whether the given number is odd or even. So, let us take the example of 37. This number is odd or even. We know that it is an odd number. So, the given input for us is an integer, and in this case, it is 37. And we should print this string odd as the output. So we'll see what logic we are going to use to solve this problem and then go code this logic. So first we'll start with the logic that we use. So what is the definition of an even number? A number which is divisible by 2 is said to be an even number. In our middle school math, we would have learnt how to check whether a number is even or odd. For that, we would have used the divisibility test of 2. So what is the divisibility test of 2? We have this number 37. We'll take the last or unit digit of this number and check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. That is, whether that number is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 is one of these numbers. If the unit digit is one of these numbers, we say it is an even number. Else we say it is an odd number. So in this case, we have the unit digit as 7 and not 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, and hence this number is not divisible by 2. So finally we can say that this is not an even number, hence it is an odd number. So how do we make our computers do this divisibility test? So what do you mean by divisible? When we divide a number by 2, if we get the remainder as 0, it means the number is perfectly divided and hence we have got the remainder as 0. So we can say that the given number is divisible by 2. Let us move on to the old example that we saw. We had 37. When we divided by 2, 18 2s are 36, the nearest value to 37. And hence we put 2 times 18 is equal to 36. We subtract and we get the remainder as 1 and not 0. Hence we can say, since the remainder is not 0, this number is an odd number. But if we take the example of 36 and not 37, we would have got 2 times 18 is 36, and when we subtract the original dividend by this number that we have got, we would have got the remainder as 0. So we can say this 36 is perfectly divisible by 2. Hence we can say 36 is an even number. But 37, as we saw earlier, had a remainder 1 and hence it is an odd number. So what we are doing here is we are dividing it by 2 and checking for the remainder. If the remainder is 0, we can say it is even number. If the remainder is 1, we can say that it is an odd number. So what operator do we use in our programming languages to find this remainder? We use the modulo operator. This is the percentage symbol and this gives us the remainder when we divide the given number by the number that we specify. In this case, we'll use 2. So let's move on to the coding part and program this logic. So here we are in our compiler. Now let us start by taking this number as input. So we are initializing a number called n, so int n, and then we are getting this number as an input. So we'll use the scanf function. So scanf of, we are getting an integer, hence %t, and we are getting the value of n, and hence the %t. So the value that we are giving as input is stored in the variable n. So what do we do now? This is the input part and that is done. So let us move on to the part where we find whether the given number is even or odd. For this part, we'll be having an if statement. So this if statement will determine whether the remainder is 1 or 0. So if the given number n modulo 2, so n modulo 2 says when we divide n by 2, what is the remainder that we get? That is given by this expression. So if n modulo 2 is equal to 0, then it means it's an even number. So we'll be using a printf statement. So printf of even, the string is printed. Okay. So the next case is when the num %2 or the number modulo 2 is equal to 1. That means it's an odd number. That will come in the else clause. So else printf of odd, and that's it. This if and else conditions will give us the output. Now let's run this program and give some sample inputs and verify our code. Let us given 37 and it should give us odd, and that is what we get. So let's run it again and give it some even inputs. So 76, it should return us even, and that is what we get. So this is the logic that we use to solve this problem. And that is episode 2 of C Lab. In the next episode, we'll be solving the question of leap years. Until then, bye bye.